Thank you for joining with me for a 5-minute silent meditation on this lesson today. Please understand that the background noise of the dogs snoring or making their noise is not going to be in the bulk of the silent meditation. That is set to the sound of the ocean. Lesson 101, God's will for me is perfect happiness. Today we will continue with the theme of happiness. This is a key idea in understanding what salvation means. The exercises teach sin is not real, and all that you believe must come from sin will never happen, for it has no cause. Accept atonement with an open mind, which cherishes no lingering belief that you have made a devil of God's Son. There is no sin. We practice with this thought as often as we can today, because that is the basis for today's idea. God's will for me is perfect happiness, and God's will for you is perfect happiness because there is no sin and suffering is causeless. Joy is just, and pain is but the sign that you have misunderstood yourself. Turn to the will of God in confidence that it will set you free from all the consequences sin has wrought in feverish imagination. God's will for me is perfect happiness. There is no sin. It has no consequence. God's will for me is perfect happiness. Remove the heavy load you lay upon yourself with the insane belief that sin, guilt, separation is real. Let us escape from the madness. We are now set on freedom's road, and now this idea brings wings to speed us on, and hope to go still faster to the waiting goal of peace. There is no sin. God's will for me is perfect happiness. This is truth, because there is no sin. God's will for me is perfect happiness. Now let us move into the silent meditation using this as the mantra or the mantra of your choice. God's will for me is perfect happiness. If there is no sin, no one is guilty and everyone is mistaken. Remember that what is true for one must be true for all. This is Jesus' lesson. God's Son is one, and differences do not exist except in the insane mind that needs to have someone win and another lose. If God's will for me is perfect happiness, it must be so for everyone. This alone is the truth, and this alone is the pathway that leads from imprisonment to freedom, conflict to peace, hate to love. Thus we happily learn that God's will is our own as well. God's will for me is perfect happiness. Thank you so much for joining with me in this meditation today. I love you. Have a beautiful day.